All right. Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode 77 of my weekly GEMP game review series. I'm your host, Chris Gogolin. Thank you for joining us in day whatever this is of the coronavirus quarantines. Hopefully, everybody's staying safe out there. So far, nobody I know personally has been infected, is sick. Some people are sick. I don't know if they know it's cold. It's regular flu this time of year. It's pretty common. Uh, specific stuff. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Um, but everybody being stuck at home does mean more Star Wars, right? Suddenly, all those other things that you would normally be doing, going out with your family and doing outside the house activities and whatnot, meeting up with your friends and maybe playing some board games, whatever, in person, can't do any of those things. So thank God for GEMP. Thank you, Troy, again, for creating this wonderful thing. Thank you to the GEMP development team who has taken it over and added new cards, new features, fixed a lot of bug tweaks and things like that. And we have the product we have today, thanks to them, including the set 12 cards have been added. They were added just the other day. The set 12 PDF was released. We'll start with that on tonight's show. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We'll catch up on some other things, see if there's any interesting games in the lobby going on. I do have a game review we'll save for the end. And somewhere in the middle of all that, we'll talk about the Match Play Championship event that was supposed to happen in about 3 weeks. And we'll leave it at that. So, let's get rid of this. No, I don't want to start my free trial. Go away. Oh, there it is. Like I can't find the stupid thing. So the Set 12 PDF is out. We've got some great images for Admiral Trench, Allegiant General Pride, etc., etc. Game text Aura Singh came out. Maul was already out. Moff Gideon looks an awful lot like the guy from Breaking Bad, the one who ran El Pollo Tres Hermanos or whatever it was. Looks an awful lot like that guy. But he seems pretty good. Another ISB guy. Always a good time. Yeah, that guy. Gus. So we got some new artwork there. Evil is everywhere. Nice close up of Grievous. Looks kind of menacing. Some other tweaks to some of these cards. Some of the defensive shields got minor adjustments to cancel Sand Whirl and Ice Storm now, because those cards, they're just never fun. That's really all it comes down to. They create negative playing experiences. We got some other updated stuff here, but no new graphics on these. Although the wild card is released in 2 versions. There, I guess, was an AI of that, or they just reversed the image. So this is from the other angle. I don't remember there being an AI of this particular one, but hey, I could have missed it, so. It was an AI. Yeah, I'm sure there was an AI. It was around somewhere. I just don't remember where it came from. So. All right, so this is out. You can download this and print out cards that you can start cutting out and getting your slips ready for, and find your Bespin Motors Void droids, or Pride of the Empire has been virtualized previously, I think, so you should have extra copies of that. And some of that other stuff. So these are all just tweak cards. But that is out, and in addition to that, these cards have been coded into GEMP. Now, I believe there's a couple missing from the PDF, because there's 2 or 3 that were also errated that are just straight erratas. Because I don't see the sewers on here. And I know the Coruscant sewer for Black Sun was drastically altered. Both the light and dark side text were changed to that, and that image has not been updated in GEMP yet either. Found that out the hard way. Let's just open the deck builder. Ambush sewers make 10 men. Yeah, there's a couple that haven't been updated yet. But so if you just look for sewer, find some Ninja Turtles. Yeah, this still has the old text. If you occupy 3 battlegrounds, you may retrieve a Black Sun agent into hand. Now it's you can exchange an alien in hand for a non-spy Black Sun agent or something like that. And then the flip side of the text is if you control instead of getting Dash, you can get a Corellian. So there's a handful of guys you can now get that are Corellians. Uh, Personas of Han being the most popular, but um, there's a few others that are Corellians. Um, I want to say Mirax and Wedge might be, but I have to double check that. Hang on. Actually, I don't think they are. Well, Wedge might be. Highly decorated Corellian. There you go. You can get Wedge back. Yeah, I think all there's a glossary entry on who Corellians are. You know what? Nah, we're not gonna look it up. So we can go like that, go to the AR and look it all up. But yeah, there's a handful of guys now that I can get back. So Talon Card, yep. Corrin Horn. So yeah, there's a yes, correct. The text plays the right way. The text has been eroded, and the system plays it the way it should be. You're just going to screw up because you're reading the card thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. And then it's like, ooh, that's not what that does. So they have to get the image fixed. Um, and once they have that, I'm sure that'll get released and an update. So, don't go printing out all your V slips just yet because you're going to have a couple more once those last minute changes are also done. But let's take a quick peek. All right, we got some casual games going on here. A few of these quarantine leagues that Batmouse threw up. Over the weekend, we had over 20. We had 20 tables going at one point, which is a new record. We talked about it last week that I'd only ever seen 13. Then it went to 14. Then it went to 16. We hit 20 at one point on Sunday, and that was pretty exciting stuff to be able to get to 20 active tables going on at the same time. And it's certainly very encouraging moving forward in terms of what GEMP can handle. And obviously the developers still want to keep an eye on those kinds of things, still want to continue to do stress tests and things and see if they need to find ways to bolster it anymore to see where exactly that threshold is and what they can push it to. Can they get to 24? Can they get to 30 games going simultaneously? Um, obviously it would suck if you got 20, 25 tables up and people are playing some of their OCS games or something and then the whole thing crashes out. Um, I know we had a little mini hiccup last night at like 7 o'clock. I was in the middle of one of my GEM PC games. I know a couple of OCS games were going on. And, everybody kind of got kicked off. Most of us were able to get back in pretty quickly. I'd get in, get to take an action, and then get kicked back out. And then I'd reload and get back in, and then it'd be back on me, and I'd be able to quick, pass back to my opponent. So that way we kept moving the clock back and forth because GEMP has that 5-minute action timer where it will time you out and you will lose if you don't take an action within 5 minutes. It's not there's not a clock or anything that tells you that. Some people get caught off guard by that and don't know about it. You can disable it if you're within a game. There's a little when you go into the options, you can disable it. I don't know if you can. I was thinking if I jump into a game, I don't think I can see it. Let's just pop into a game. I don't think you can see the options. Oh, you can see the options. Oh, yeah. Well, before where it said options, you would click on that, and then there's a button there that says like disable action timer. Both you and your opponent have to agree to disable it, so you both click on it, and then that will turn off that 5-minute timer. But I do know we did have at least one OCS game that has to get voided because the player got kicked out. Well, Joe got kicked out and wasn't able to get back in time to take an action and got timed out. And that is, what we have to do with that. So that's a server issue. That's not, he didn't go to the bathroom and not make it back in 5 minutes. Everybody kind of got kicked out. So Um, as much as Dan would have loved to pick up that win over Joe, might be his only win ever over Joe. Don't feel bad. Joe's a tough guy to beat. There's a few of us that have never beaten him, so I have one win against Joe. I think I'm like 1-3. And that's because he basically just scooped me after like the beginning of the game because he knew he couldn't win. Uh, Fun times. Jared's raising his hand, never beaten Joe. Well, that's going to lead us into our next little segue, which is the GEM PC and what's going on with that. Because looking at the bracket, we're in round 4 here. This is the top 8. A Rebel Spy has advanced to the semifinals, the final 4, as has Jared Napolitano. They will meet in the final 4. There's your chance, Jared, right there. Step up. You can take on Joe. You've made it all the way to the final 4. Will your Cinderella story come to an end? Or will you knock off the number 1 seeded player in the tournament, Josiah Olsen, Jebediah Olsen, and advance on to the finals, where you will await, well, there's still some other people left to go here. I won game 1 against Brad by 19. We're playing game 2 tomorrow night, somewhere around 7:30. I have to be dark side, and I have to lose by 19 or, well, 18 or less cards. We'll play it safe. I'll lose by 18 or less um, against Brad, and I will be advancing to the final 4, where I will await the winner of Kimura and Adam Trunzo. I believe Adam Trunzo won the first game, if the league history is correct. Gem PC round 4. Adam Trunzo has a win here. Kimura has a loss, so I don't know what the differential was in that game at all, but there you go. The way things are going, all in real advice might be played out on GEMP. We've seen a few of them. Saturday, I think it was, there was this right here, the San Francisco League. They created a little sealed deck league for them. Actually, Batmouse put it up for 2 weeks for them. That's interesting. That's nice of him. Um, these guys playing the sealed deck league, the California players. Um, Looks like we got a few people other than California players who also joined, because I'm pretty sure Marines doesn't live in California. I think he's from Tennessee. And El Duderino, I feel like he's from like Milwaukee. So maybe we stretched that a little bit. Maybe these guys moved and I don't keep track of them. I'll have to pull up their GPS tags and find out where they really are. But or maybe he just let extra people in. Maybe they had 5,000 gold saved up and they're like, I'm getting in. I don't know. Maybe they needed an even number of players. Maybe well, if they added a couple. If they added just one guy, I could see trying to do it just to make it an even number. But to add like 10 people. But Batmouse is doing that for other areas. So if you can't play your local event, talk to Batmouse. I can add leagues too, but I prefer to leave it up to the GEMP sheriff to regulate and monitor all that stuff. I got enough on my plate as it is. So talk to Batmouse. He's a good guy. He'll set up a league for you. You can get your players added, and then you guys can have your little, instead of playing your Saturday local at your gaming shop, you can play your Saturday league event. I know they did that the other day too. With it was an actual constructed tournament. They played 4 games constructed. Um, and he was doing the pairings and had the tournament software and was sending out emails to everybody like, "Hey, here's your next opponent. Set up a table and play." All right, we got 16 people watching. Awesome. I guess everybody's excited to find out what my little bit of news is. Well, it relates to this event right here, which sadly was canceled due to the coronavirus and the lockdown that we are all under, where all gatherings more than like 3 people have been canceled. Um, but thankfully, we've been able to do this testing and prove that GEMP can handle at least more than 16 games at once. And we're going to play it online this year. So, here's what it's going to look like. Dum-da-da-dum, da-dum-da-da-dum. The online NPC. It'll be a $25 entry fee. If you've already registered, we'll get to that in a minute. Prizes will be the same as the live NPC, and trophies for the top 4 will be either mailed out or handed out whenever we're allowed out of the house again. We're going to have to break it up. So, round 1, 64 players. We're going to split it into 2 heats, 32 and 32, 16 games, because we know GEMP can handle 16 games. Plus, we have to leave a little room for the people who care nothing about our tournament, who want to throw up a few casual games and whatnot. So, if we can handle 20, and there's a majority of people who are normally on GEMP are playing in the match play championship, then there's a pretty good chance that there will only be like 4 or 5 other games going on. So we're going to split it up into 2 waves. We're going to try to coordinate who's in wave 1 and who's in wave 2 based on what time zone you live in or the person you're playing against lives in. So like this one here that starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're a West Coast player, that's like 6 a.m. for you. You would probably be more likely to be in wave 2 if possible. That way you get to sleep in a little later. European players, because this is online now, we can have some European players. You're more likely to be in wave 1 because, it's 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you guys over there, for some of you. So you'd want to get your game in maybe in the middle of the day instead of having to be up till late at night. So we're going to play the first round of 64. That's 2 waves. It should take about 4 hours to finish the round. If this round anybody runs a little long in their game here, should still be okay because these guys are also in the same round. Some of these games may finish early as well, so hopefully that'll be a thing. And then as Wave 2 wraps up, we'll take an hour break. This should wrap up around 5 p.m. We expect approximately 4 hours, 2 hours per game. Game 2 sometimes, unless it's a real nail biter, once you get to that differential point, game 2 usually ends. If game 1 was really close, that's when you have those games that kind of go right to the max. So we're going to put an hour buffer here. So this ends at 5 p.m. The next round starts at 6 p.m. So that way the people who finished their round heat 1, they kind of know. Be back by 6. Go do whatever you want your Saturday afternoon for a few hours. Be back by 6. Now we're down to 32 players. We'll play again, and that should wrap up around 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Any European players, that's going to be like 3 or 4 in the morning for you if you go the full distance. Maybe you are just really good and it's midnight for you. You crush your opponent really bad in the first game and they don't want to play the second game, or you just draw up like turn 5 or something like that and suicide yourself. So you don't have to stay up till 4 in the morning and then be back the next day. So at the end of Saturday, we'll be down to 16 players. We roll into Sunday. Oh, by the way, you have to submit deck lists. Deck lists are due by Friday night. Because this is trying to keep this as close to the real NPC as possible, you will submit deck lists. You are locked in to play those decks for rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. 64, 32. Sunday, we cut down, start at 10 a.m., so we'll start a little later because we don't need to put as many tables on at once, but we don't want to be here all day. So we're going to go 10 a.m. on Sunday, cut down to the top 8, start at 2:30. That's 4.5 hours here, so you're going to get a little short break. Just make sure these games are all wrapped up. Kind of a fixed time, too, so if anybody finishes their game early, what time do I have to be back? We start at 2:30, so now you know. So you can go run and, grab something to eat or, throw a load of laundry in, whatever you do on a Sunday. And then we'll knock it out, and we're down to the final 4 by about 6:30 on Sunday night. Now we're down to the final 4. Players are allowed to change decks. We would like to play the final 4 the following weekend on Saturday or Sunday, but we're going to take into consideration the time zones of the players and their requests and schedules and things and see if we can't coordinate that so that way we can, have both people playing simultaneously, stream it, coverage, all that fun stuff. the following weekend and get the semifinals and the finals knocked out in the third day. Hoping for Saturday, April 25th, but again, we'll be a little flexible with that depending on who the players are involved, what time we're going to start. If you've got Joe Olson taking on Bastian Winkelhaus, well, there's a 9-hour time zone difference there. So, uh, we got to take that into consideration because the players aren't physically present in the same room. Makes it a little more challenging, but I think we can do it. And then the fun thing, too, is, of course, when you have all these games going on, when we're live streaming it on Twitch, when one game ends, whatever our featured match was, and like, oh, this game's going to end. Well, let's pop in and check out some of the other tables and see what's going on. Oh, let's check out, what's going on here. Oh, who's so and so? How's their game looking? There's you Instead of having that dead time where it's like, all right, our featured match is over, we'll be back in a half hour to start the next round. It's like you've got all these other tables to pop into and see what's going on. It's like golf a little bit like that, where they're like, all right, Tiger hit the ball, and while he's walking to get there, let's go check on what somebody else is doing. And I think that's going to keep everybody engaged and kind of, give a different perspective. Even if you're watching a featured match and the game's really kind of running away, it's like, all right, well, you know what? Let's take a break. This game seems like it's not going so well. Let's pop over to a different game. Kind of like March Madness used to be 10 years ago before it was simulcast on like 7 different networks. Um, you'd watch a game and it's like, oh, Duke is killing this 16 seed Creighton out of, I don't even know where the Creighton's from, Rhode Island, I think. They're up by 37 points at halftime. Let's take you to a more competitive matchup. And you'd see like the 7-10 game or something like that for a little bit. That could certainly be a thing too. I'm getting my ass kicked, and I'm like, guys, you might want to go switch to another game, something like that. So Creighton is in Omaha. Who cares? No, thank you. Thanks, Matt. Multiple streamers, multiple angles of each game. I don't think we need all that going on. I mean, we certainly could. People could have we could have an official PC stream, and then if other players want to do simultaneous live streams and cover different games, certainly no harm in that. We'll have to coordinate that. I'm sure a lot of the streamers, the people who normally stream, will be playing in the tournament. So we'll see who wants to sit one out and take one for the team, and do some streaming for round 1 here. And then as these players get eliminated in here, round 1, round 32, on Saturday, we certainly could have different people streaming on Sunday as a possibility. So you don't have to give up your whole weekend, but that's the plan. Drinking game stream. Uh-oh. So that's the plan. Streaming coverage will be ongoing throughout the weekend. And, again, we can sub people in and out the way we normally do sometimes, thanks to Discord. We've seen that with the Hollow Theater show, how they always have their guests on. We've seen it with some of the other streams that we've done where somebody will tag out for an hour or two and somebody else will pop in. And I think we can certainly create a rotation with that as players get eliminated from the tournament or as players wake up and are looking to jump in and do some commentary. So we'll get all that coordinated out. But here's the part that you guys need to know now. If you are already registered for the tournament, and there were 43 of you who did, your spot is still yours. If you have no interest, I'm going to post this on the forums as well, so people will get to see it. If you have no interest in playing this tournament on GEMP, please PM me so I can refund you your full amount. Otherwise, I'm just going to refund you the difference from what you paid versus the $25 entry fee and keep you on the registration list. The deadline is still going to be the same. What's this, March 29th? Yeah. So that's about a week. Well, maybe we'll push it out to we'll give everybody a week. We'll push it out to the end of the month. March 31st will be the deadline. So we'll have 8.5 days to get the rest of these slots filled up. And for people to, obviously, if you're going to not attend, please let me know ASAP so we can get you canceled out and taken off the list and know how many spots we have to work with. Or if you're just unavailable to commit to that kind of time. And then we can start selling the additional slots to fill in to get to the full 64. And since it is now online, I expect there will be some European interest in this event, and probably some interest in people who, uh, were unable to travel, couldn't take the time off to fly, or didn't have the funds for a plane ticket and a hotel room. I'm thinking about you, Dorsch, you, Kimura. You guys are always saying that funds are a little tight for you guys to get out to live events, so completely understandable. And we found a way to make it a little more palatable for you. So hopefully we'll get everybody lined up here. But again, if you are one of these 43 players who signed up and you don't want to play on GEMP, and there's a few names on this list of people I see who do not usually play on GEMP. Um, so if you're not interested, again, let me know. We'll take you off the list. We'll refund you your full entry fee, and we will move on from there. We'll get the brackets out. Everything will go standard from there, and then I will create a separate post with the lists of who's in Wave 1, who's in Wave 2, once the brackets have been announced, and then we can coordinate that, and then you guys will know what your start times is. It'll be a little tricky the morning of, so you can't just throw up a table, and, we don't want people. It's going to be a separate league, so there won't be any commentary or anything on the games. I think that's the best way to do it. That'll be the fixed timers and all that stuff. It also means though you can't put notes in, so you have to put like notes like we'll have to kind of do starting games like one at a time. It'll be like, hey Joe, are you ready to play? Like, okay, I'm putting my table up now, and then you click on that table, and then they go play their match, and then next guy do it. Um, that might be a little. I mean, that's a little tedious. The other way to do it, of course, is just you can do it as casual, and you could put a note in it. NPC game for Dave. Do you need us to send you our GEMP names as well? Yes. Yes. Well, I have yours, unless you have it. But yes, if anybody who is unfamiliar, if I don't know your GEMP name, I'll reach out to you and find out what it is. So let's see. Given all the volunteers for the streamer deathmatch, plenty of options for commentators. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people who are available who would be interested in doing commentary. Of course, with the 64-person field event, most of those people are going to want to play in it. So, if that's the case, hey, we might just throw up a stream with no commentary, and people can just, I mean, you can just jump in and watch a game anyway. And maybe during the first round, we don't have any commentary if everybody wants to play. And then whoever gets eliminated can start streaming it until more people get eliminated and they can switch off. I don't know. That part we're still going to work out. We've got 3 weeks to do it. So, but we're going to start with step one, which is let's get 64 people signed up for this tournament and go from there. And now I'm going to take a break because I've been very animated. And now I can breathe again. So that's how that's all going to work. Very exciting news. Very excited to be able to have this event, not have a big, I mean, there'll still be an asterisk that this was played online on GEMP, but not just have here's your list of your NPC champions, and then there's just a blank spot, and it's like, tournament was not held due to global pandemic. It's like, now it's tournament held online, and champion is with big trophy. And we'll have to get a picture of that. Either, you take a picture at your house, look at me with my trophy, whatever, so we can put it up online. Or, whenever we are allowed out again, whatever event we have next, we'll get a picture of you with your trophy there. So, will there be prize support for non-top 4 players? I assume there'll be some type of foil slip that we would have given out at the regular NPC. That'll just get added to the pile of shit I have to mail out. Yeah. I assume there will be whatever we were doing. All the prizes are the same. So whatever we were doing for the regular NPC, we're gonna continue on and do again. For the only thing is we're just playing online instead. Still giving out the cash prizes, still giving out the trophies, and if you notice, the cash prizes went all the way to top 8. So top 8 gets $50, so you double your money. It's only 25 to play, but you get 50 back if you make the top 8. So yeah, fun stuff, exciting stuff. So again, PM me if you are not interested in playing in the online version, and we'll get you crossed off the list. And Yoshi, thank you, Sam, for renewing your subscription. Now that I've rambled on about that, and there's nothing else going on in here, quick peek in at the OCS. Paul Meyer still sitting at the top here, 11-1. There's a few people nipping at his heels, though. But with the 43% win percentage, is pretty solid for an 11-1 player. That's probably going to hold up. Drew's just sitting here ahead of Ryan at the minute. Not a whole lot of points separating them. Let me go down a little bit. You got Silver Glenn. Hopefully when he's done, watching my show, he'll get his another game in. I'm done, so I can't play you. I'm sorry, Justin. Maybe next month we'll try again. I keep logging in all these weird random hours late at night for you, hoping that we can get a game in sometime, but never seem to catch you. But he's 8-1 right now. Ketwall, Kieran, Eric, they're both 7-1. So certainly some people who are still in striking distance. Kieran's got a pretty high win percentage. He whooped my ass, so that'll certainly help his win percentage. And then somewhere around here, a Rebel Spy. This one, his game has to get voided. His is the game that got DC'd, so that'll actually put him back down to 25 points with Silver Glen. So those guys are both still within striking distance to move into the 1-2 or 2, Paul being 1 and them being the 2 spot. So one of them could still qualify. You got about a week left to do it. 8 days. So let's get those games in. But now we're going to move to our featured game of the week. This was just submitted to me this morning, or late last night. I forget which. From Echo Base Trooper. He's playing WHAP, a deck we don't feature all that often. And he's taking on your reigning, defending, 2-time, 3-time total world champion, Bastion Winklehouse, who's playing ISB, another deck that we don't really feature a whole lot. So this seemed like a great matchup. I believe there are a couple of set 12 cards that may be floating around, at least in the ISB deck. So we're going to take it away and run with that. The GOAT. It's hard to argue against that, It's hard to argue against calling him that. I don't like throwing around titles like that. Whether it's Bastion, Kevin, Johnny, yeah, they're all amazing. Bastion's the only one I've never beaten. So, yeah, there you go. It makes it better, right, if I call him the GOAT, then, because I've never beaten him, then it's like, well, of course I've never beaten him. He's the greatest of all time. Like, I've beaten Chu and I've beaten Shannon, so how great can they really be if they lose to me? Kidding. Their multiple world championship trophies sitting on their bookcase answers that question. So, all right. I'm not going to click left or right because I'm not playing the goddamn game. I'm going to click play so we can see where he put it. And we'll see what effects they've got. Oh, there's the new slip sliding away. Starting interrupt. So what does this do? Luke got the shaft. Well. Oh, those cheeky monkeys over at Decipher. If you have deployed a site with exactly 2 icons and no other locations, bam, deploy a battleground site. Then, unless you have deployed a site with Palace in title, you can deploy up to 3 effects that are always immune to alter, and then you put this interrupt in your lost pile. So you could use this to get a Palace. You could play the Coruscant Shizor's Palace, which would then pull his other Coruscant sites, but he doesn't get any effects if he does that. So he's basically running then a 12-card start with only an 8-card hand. But he gets 2 locations. Could potentially be worth it. Most people won't do that. 9 times out of 10, that's not the way people are going to run their deck. certainly wouldn't expect that to be the way Bastion runs his deck. So we'll see what effects he starts here in just a second. There you go. Arrest order, establish control, decree. Okay. I was going to wonder if that was going to be end or shield or not, but decree makes more sense against the WHAP damage. He's going to want to mitigate that down to 1 as quickly as possible. All right. And WHAP started. We'll take the long way, Jedi Business, and Walkling. And we saw him use We'll Take the Long Way, which gets you a Episode 1 system and or a leader. He grabs the Queen. He grabs Camino. He'll use this to get the Camino. Well, he would use it normally to get the 2-0 site from Camino, which he already has in hand, so that's a bit of a dud. Landing Claw is a nice touch. I always like this. When you're playing one-dimensional decks like WHAP and Prophet that do some direct damage and just trying to squeeze in a couple of drains a turn as well, being able to just sort of not have to pay for those for 1 or 2 turns can make the difference in winning a close game versus losing a close game. So if you don't have the card slots for a full dedicated space package like WHAP used to run for a while with all the Bravo fighters and those guys, slapping a landing claw on a Bravo fighter or a Rick and Queen starship or something, not a bad way to go for just a token space package. Makes for a good debate. Yeah, they've played a number of times. I don't know what their lifetime total is between some of those guys. That'd be interesting. I don't know if Bastion and Kevin ever really played much. There wasn't a lot of overlap there. I mean, they would have been at FreedomCon in 2001. I don't, know what happened there. That was Bastion's first World Championship, and Kevin made the top 4, Final 4 of that, I think. So I don't know if they were, how often they played against each other during that tournament. So that might be something. But yeah, I don't know. Certainly be something for those talking head guys to fill up some airtime with. He's got the bridge in hand. Core lag with establish. Oh, normally he would establish control for that, but he's got that in hand as well. He'll get the executor docking bay. And he's just going to draw a few cards. Yeah, got some good activation out, and he'll draw a few cards here. Usually ISB tries to set up like a free executor. He's going to have to work a long way around in order to do that. You can do a pull chain with Piet. Piet pulls Marajik. Marajik pulls the Bespin system if you get the effect and whatnot. But usually those versions will run. You can also do Quat Drive Yards and just use that to pull Bespin and then play other systems in space. Pull Bespin, pull Mustafar, pull Vader's Castle, and just get some solid activation kind of going like that. All right, we're going to get the quick start here from Echo Base Trooper. That's Adam. We're going to call him Adam. Uh-oh. Oh, hang on. My Twitch viewing over here crashed. So I got to pause it for a second so I can reload that. Otherwise I won't be able to see all of your comments, and then this will be a lot less interactive. And that's the best part of the show, is interacting with you guys. Alright, so we got Mace. Mace is going to go it alone, it looks like. He put out the 2-0 from hand. He doesn't need to pull. Yep, Mace moves over. So it looks like he's going to send Mace by himself. Kind of playing it a little conservative, a little close to the vest for now. Mace is going to walk his way in with the Jedi lightsaber on him. Once he gets here, and then yeah, while you occupy that site, you can ignore your objective's deployment restrictions. So he'll get Mace here, occupy the site, hold it down with, he's got sorry about the mess, he's got sense, they're tracking us, Mace should be okay, and then he'll add the Queen and friends later, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, he can just move him with Ascension Guns. So deploy Fate. He can drain here if he needs to, and then Ascension Guns. This is a non-battleground because it's not flipped yet. Ascension Guns to move Mace in. He'll now occupy. Then he can deploy the Queen directly there and flip. Back her up maybe with, I don't know, Qui-Gon or Sio-Bibble, or probably Qui-Gon, and then just kind of stack up here in the throne room. He's obviously going to run the risk of the undercover spy, so he'll need to keep that handy. 5d6 is likely going to end up at one of these sites at some point, making all these drains -1. And then he's going to also reduce the ping damage with the decree as well. Aw, I love you too, Steve. I don't see enough of you. You and your crazy monkey. Oh, Bastion's got combat response. Okay. Not what I was expecting. Ooh. All right, so we've got Moff Gideon. He's one of our new set 12 cards. He's a pilot. He adds 2 piloting. Rebels here are power -1, and at adjacent sites, if you have an E-Web blaster, when deployed, you can download an E-Web blaster or an Imperial Stormtrooper for free. No, not for free. For -3 force. So you can get an Imperial Stormtrooper for -3 force. Stormtrooper Garrison seems like a no-brainer. This guy's ability 4 draws a destiny by himself. He's a leader. The Garrison comes down, kind of makes him immune to being hit by weapons. Plus the Garrison then adds a battle destiny. So that would seem, on paper, like the most likely pull, but we'll see what Bastion opts to pull here. Hey, look, it's a Stormtrooper Garrison. And he comes down cheaper, so then you have extra force to pay his maintenance cost. And Lieutenant Renz. And field promotion. Yep. Yep. Okay, this is the annoying part of this particular build of ISB, the field promotion. Kevin! 17 months? Woohoo! Yay! Hope everybody's feeling okay over there in the UK. And hopefully you guys have all that flooding has knocked it off. You got enough problems, so you can't have flooding going on top of it too. This guy I'm not familiar with. He is a leader though, so he fits. And he's power +2 when present with a stormtrooper, so he's power 4. That's pretty solid. And he's forfeit 6 because of Imperial Arrest Order. You rebel scum. Targeting a rebel at same site is a used interrupt and immune to sense. And he's immune to attrition less than the number of stormtroopers present. You rebel scum, huh? Interesting. What makes this deck such a pain in the ass is the Garrison, who says Imperial leaders present may not be targeted by weapons, and then while with a leader, he adds a battle destiny, and then you put field promotion on him. This should say deploy on a unique Imperial. It really should. You can't even make a Garrett promote. How do you promote a whole Garrison? This is stupid. Errata this card. Make it say deploy on a unique Imperial of ability less than 5. Present with Vader, Emperor, blah 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 blah. Imperial gains leader skill, is power +1, and is immune to all these things. So by making himself a leader, he's now immune to weapon targeting, and he makes everybody else immune to weapon targeting. So nobody can be targeted by weapons at this location. So you can't even target him, sorry about the mess or something, to get him out of the battle, and then, or shoot him with Leia's gun to make him immediately lost, and then target these guys. And the stupid effect is immune to alter, so you can't even get rid of it that way. So no way to get rid of this card through conventional means. Kind of makes this a bit ridiculous. So is it logical that it should be able to go on a non-unique? No, it's not. It should go on a unique only. There's my pitch. Maybe somebody from the D&D team is watching, and we'll take that into consideration. Alright. He rescues into another rescue, pays the maintenance cost on the garrison. I'm gonna... There you go. Gets Panaka. Okay. And I'm gonna guess he's a rebel. He's got the word rebel in there, so he's an ISB agent. ISB agent. And these guys are not ISB agents. That would be ridiculous if they were agents too. So he's got 2 agents. He needs 4 to flip. So halfway there. Alright. Now comes the fun part. You Ascension guns, which is immune to sense, to move Mace over. And now that you occupy, you can deploy some stuff. You can drop Qui-Gon. You can get him a lightsaber, but it doesn't do anything, so there's no real point in pulling it out. Unless you want to just get a low destiny out of the deck. There's the Queen, who deploys cheaper. And there's Panaka, who deploys free to... Is it to her site or just to Naboo? Deploys free to Naboo. Okay. And now he's immune to less than 5. She makes everybody immune to less than 3. So there's some token immunity. He's getting 2 battle destiny here, though, and since he's not flipped. There's the forfeit fodder. Also happens to add a little activation. Yep, I'll get the Jedi lightsaber and throw that on Qui-Gon. On the off chance somebody who's not a leader shows up, but every character in the deck should be a leader. If a second garrison comes down, there you go. Oh, he is going to battle. Can't swing at anybody. It's 2 destiny to 1 destiny. I don't know that I would have initiated battle there. I might have just drawn a couple cards. I know you don't want your opponent stockpiling guys either, but, I mean, what's the best case scenario? You get Wrens with your 1 destiny? Joe, thank you for renewing your subscription for 17 months. Woo! He draws Callus. Sio forfeits for 5, I think, right? Yeah, he forfeits for 5. And he forfeits Panaka. Interesting. Panaka covers 6. I mean, maybe he's got more Panakas or whatnot. I would have thought they're tracking us for Sio Bibble and then lose Sio Bibble. Might have been a better way to go. But he's adding an extra 2 force. And if you have to run away, he does subtract 1 from their drains. He's also adding 1 to power of your other Republic guys, which is right now is just the Queen. Personally, I don't think I would have put the Jedi lightsaber on Mace or on Qui-Gon. And if you were going to battle, probably would have forfeited Qui-Gon and kept everybody else. Especially knowing you have another Qui-Gon in hand to deploy again the following turn. You can lose him anyway because the weapon's not going to do you much good in the long run, but he will go ahead and draw a few cards. Oh, and he's going to sense the command. There is no try on the table. So this is going to cost him 2 force, but command is a good card to sense. A lot of characters. Keeps drawing characters for Destiny. It's like the 3rd character in a row after he rescued and had 3 characters like the turn before. I think this was like the same 3 characters. Gotta love that GEMP shuffle sometimes. He's going to top deck 2 cards. There goes the sense and a Hear Me Baby. Pulled the lightsaber to get a 2 out of the deck. Did you miss the big news? Yes, you did, Joe. You missed the big news. It'll be posted on the forums in about an hour. You can read about it there. I'll recap at the end of the show. I'm sure somebody in chat will tell you. he's just going to add a Stormtrooper Patrol, who is not a leader. Haha! Somebody who's not a leader. Somebody you can actually hit with a weapon. And then he's going to draw a few cards. And reload his hand here. Use the hallway to get Ascension Guns. You can use Ascension Guns now to peek at the top 2 cards. I love this card for that. Neighboring or Rescue. And use the Rescue, which he's finally going to grab because he's tired of seeing it looped around. There you go. Nice hologram Kit Fisto. What does Kit Fisto do? I always forget. I don't really use this guy much. He deploys -1 to an episode 1 site. Awesome. Once per turn, use a force to draw top card of reserve deck. Awesome. Decent power, immune to less than 5. That's pretty good. And we got Plo Koon. Plo Koon. Plo. He deploys to Soka cheaper, or she deploys cheaper to him. Once per turn, lose top card of force pile to make your character forfeit +2 and immune to attrition for remainder of turn. Why would you need to have higher forfeit if you're immune to attrition? You shouldn't be forfeiting that guy. Does seem a little counterintuitive there. I did not mention that, but yes, that is certainly a relevant text. Imperials deploy +1 at the Palace Throne Room. That is a bit restrictive, and I'm sure maybe slowing him down a little bit, having to pay +1 for each of these guys that he's deploying there. And we are going to get the sorry about the mess. He's going to try and pick off the patrol. I'll be a little honest. I probably would have saved that for later. I get why you did it, because obviously it cuts him down to 3 ability, and then it takes a Battle Destiny out of the equation. I could definitely see that being a thing. I don't disagree with that decision. Personally, I probably would have just kept it knowing that there's probably going to be something more annoying later that I'm going to want to get rid of. And the fact that you can just sort of overwhelm him with some power here as well. You've got Plo, you've got Kit. Just stack everybody up. I guess you're going to save this for space, though. There's a solid Destiny 6. Now you're just hoping he draws less than 3. He drew exactly 3. How would he go? You've got the they're tracking us. Just subtract 1. Nope, doesn't play it. Interesting. Alright, I guess you're saving that for a rainy day. So Sile Bibble's going to go anyway. And Sebastian peeling cards. Yes, he just peeled 7 cards to keep his garrison in play. He lost Iceheart, he lost Atlanta Sacrifice Combo, Poltredium, Tarkin, A Dark Time, Saber 1, Scimitar 2. Three characters, 2 ships. Yeah, when you see combat response and you know the landing clause is not going to work, you probably have to hang on to Plo to put in the ship to kind of hunker down a system for a turn or 2. Saving their tracking us for Tarkin. Does it? Program trap, activate, add or subtract. It doesn't do like a dark time does, where you prevent them from canceling your destinies. That seemed like would have been a good opportunity there, because then you lose nothing. Hey, it's 5d6 over at the upper walkway. What the? During your move phase, may move for free from here to any other Cloud City exterior site. Force drain -1 here. If you control their game text is cancelled. So we've got a 2-1 Cloud City site that we're just throwing this guy over here. Just so he's at a scomp link. Activate force, draw cards, retrieve force. Sure, I guess. But aren't there any scomp links on Naboo? Maybe not. You got some scomp links at your docking bays. Alright, he gets 5d6 out, gets Colonel Wolf out, uses him to activate 2 extra force, because he's got 2 ISB agents in play now. But only a 5-card hand. Okay, there's Tarkin. He lets him draw back up to 6. So he gets 2 fresh cards from the reserve deck and gets his 3rd ISB agent out. So he's getting 2 Battle Destiny here. Because you've got the garrison with the leaders, but Tarkin has to be with 2 agents in order to cancel a Destiny draw. So Tarkin's not canceling anything here. If 5d6 was there, he'd have 2 agents together, but 5d6 then wouldn't be at the scomp link, which obviously is where Bastion wants him to be. So he can activate force or draw cards from his reserve deck to kind of keep his hand moving, which I'm guessing is not going very well for him right now. No, we're stuck with leaders again, so no weapons going to do a whole lot. Now that he's seen the 2 ships go away, Adam's going to try and capitalize and get space to get some damage going. With Rick and Plo. Okay. So we've got, we'll need a new one. This is the hyperdrive text objective. So it doesn't add a battle destiny. It's immune to less than 5. It's power 6. He adds 2 more. He can make, losing a card from force pile to make an episode 1 starfighter immune to attrition. That's what definitely would come in handy as well to keep this ship alive. This is a great combo for hyperdrive and well, it's a good combo altogether, but for hyperdrive and WHAP decks, this is a pretty strong, space option there. 8 power, a battle destiny, immune to less than 5, the option to make it permanently immune just by losing a card from your reserve force pile. And all these guys left in hand. Cody here needs another Rex or 2 clones to cancel. And it's Obi who pulls a clone, I think, so certainly some options, but and he's going to add Solo for some more power. Checks his destiny. Not bad in there. There's the Anakin that's in there, but otherwise, what's this handmaiden do? She's one who breaks cover of undercover spies. Okay, that's pretty solid. Draw a card with Kit, and he lucks into the Anakin. Well, look at that. Spending all that last bit of force to get Anakin down as well. Anakin will let you battle for free. We got 29 to 14. Three's decent. He'll use 5d6 here to activate one. That's fine. Colonel Wolf will end up dying. There's a 5. Plenty of guys with high forfeits here. Anakin with 8, Solo with 7, Kit with 7. Double 5s. That's never good. Nobody forfeits for 9, so now you're losing 2 people. That was unlucky. But not terrible. You've got another Qui-Gon in hand. He's got 9 cards in hand, but he's already top decked and lost a handful of guys, so still seems to be in a pretty decent spot here. Oh, he's going to grab the accelerate here just to stop him from cycling the 5. Oh, he has plenty of guys left in there. Okay. Decipher's episode 1 sites don't have scomp links. I think it's very maybe none of them do, or they just stopped doing it. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. That they just, or I think it was thematic, right? That they were trying to say that that technology didn't exist then. They were trying to separate something like, I don't know, some bullshit story. Um, oh, Boba Fett's in there. Does he have the Slave 1 in hand? He's got Pole. Pole let him draw a card off the top where he had a whole bunch of other characters as well. There's General Navarre. So now he's got 4 agents on the table. His objective is flipped. Navarre lets him peek at the top card of his reserve deck. He's going to reveal Baron just to shuffle it. Saber 1's already gone. I doubt he's playing multiples of his ships. He'll just throw Baron to the ground. He's another leader. Now he's in a pretty good spot. Oh, Lieutenant Pole Treatum is not a leader, so he can actually be hit by weapons. But he's got the multiple agents. He can cancel their just drawn destiny, and they're only getting 1. So he's got more power. He's got 2 destiny. This is going to get a little rough. But he can at least hit the 1 guy to at least get 1 guy off the table. Sometimes that's what these ISB agents kind of want to happen. And every time he swings here, each destiny draw is going to trigger 5d6. So a couple of 5s there will let Bastion draw the top 2 cards of his reserve decks, where he had a number of characters. So that may have improved his overall destiny draws. Maybe Adam will get lucky and he drew the red cards, and just going to be a pile of characters here. And he's got a second Lana combo. That'll keep Pole's forfeit from being reduced, so Pole will cover 7. There's a Boba Fett. And then I can't shake him. So he's got a 6 total, which will probably mean the end of Kit Fisto. Although his card draw mechanic is certainly coming in handy. So he's going to draw 2. That'll let him activate a force, and then he'll cancel it afterwards with Tarkin. Then he loses Pole Treatum, and he gets to draw. He chooses to draw the top card of his reserve deck. And now Amidala's going away. I guess he's conceding the fact that he's never going to flip. Oh, but he does let him retrieve an ISB agent here. I would have preferred to see him pull simple tricks, because he only occupies 1 battleground. And he's got some shields to give here. I would have preferred to see him pull simple tricks. to stop him from retrieving somebody. Who did he get back? He got back Ice Heart. Yeah. There's a drain of 1 at Corlag. Get Fisto to draw a card. Picks up a second clone. That's a help. What does Tup do? Fire a weapon at an undercover spy. No, that's no good. Yeah, just a guy with a gun who can shoot undercover people pretty easily. So that's pretty good. Between the two of them, they do a pretty good job of taking care of undercover spies. So I feel a little better about that decision earlier to use the Sorry About the Mess then. I'm not entirely familiar with all of the... Ooh. Gets Yoda out, uses Yoda to pull the control tunnel vision, uses the control tunnel vision to go dig through the 10 cards. And let's see what we got to work with. You got Jarris Janik, who's not doing anything anymore because Amidala's gone. You got Chewie, who can't shoot anybody. You've got Kenobi. If alone or with the clone, he can activate a force or add 1 to a just drawn destiny. Again, not getting you very far because Tarkin's just going to cancel your destiny anyway. So you've got 2 options. Option 1 is take the Clash and just Clash Tarkin and get him out of the battle. So then you can actually draw a Battle Destiny. Or option 2 would be to put Rex down because he adds Battle Destiny at an Episode 1 site. Rex also makes your other clones deploy -1 here, so I'm leaning towards Rex. Take Rex, drop him for 4, and then Cody deploys -1 to Rex, and he can cancel their draw. Haha, how do you like it? And then you could add this guy as well for some extra forfeit fodder. And you can probably squeeze all that out and still be able to battle. Although in this case, I actually don't know that you need to battle. You could just add Rex and, you know, now that Amidala's dead, though, you have to be careful about him just moving away. I doubt that's what he would do, but you never know. I'm going with Rex here. Those are my options. These are my options that I'm faced with, and my choices are Rex or Clash. Realistically, I'm going with Rex. What do you guys think? Clash the Trooper, swing away. Yeah, but he doesn't have any other weapons. He's got, well, I mean, I guess you could. You can Clash the Garrison away. Mace can swing twice. That makes more sense. That makes more sense. Clash the Garrison, hit everybody. Good call. See, I'm tired. I'm not making smart decisions. I haven't used that Mace in so long, I forget he swings twice. There you go. Good call, everybody. Good call, team chat. Clash the Garrison, drop Tup, beat the crap out of everybody else. I'm on board. Good strategy. Do you have enough destinies left to draw to shoot everybody else? Yeah, I think you do. Because he only draws 1 destiny, right? Yep. Target hit destiny +2. Ooh. Now, on the flip side, your opponent's going to get to draw and or activate a crap ton of force. He's going to draw a card. But yeah, this is going to be pretty rough. Shoot Baron. He's hit. Draw another card. Short range to dig out Slave 1. Draw another card. Nope, Passion didn't draw that time. He will activate probably, right? Nope, he didn't activate either. I'll slow this back down. Tarkin, I'll cancel. No, because Baron is not an ISB agent. Now he's going to subtract one in case Bastion doesn't have the Gick. To make sure he gets in that game-ending beatdown. He's got 14 battle damage. If he doesn't have the Gick. What am I doing? I'm an idiot. The Jedi lightsaber doesn't make forfeit 0. It just means they can't be used to satisfy attrition. Again, not used to these cards. My apologies. So, everybody kind of covers there, then. That seems less than exciting. This guy doesn't make forfeit 0 either. Yeah, nobody made forfeit 0. That was less than exciting. But you cleared everybody out. And then my weapons reduce forfeit. Yeah, see, exactly. It doesn't reduce forfeit. Yep. And you happen to draw into Rex, so there you go. You're sold for next time. You got Rex and Cody together. If he's got anything left. The problem is that Amidala's already gone too, so you can't flip. Unless you've got a Jedi Lev or something to get her back. But I don't know what Bastion's going to do next here. He's got a Blizzard 2 with the Veers. That's going to be pretty solid. And a Captain Jonas. And the garrison is clashed until the end of the next turn. So he doesn't have to do anything with them just yet. He can just pay their upkeep and buy himself a little time. And then the following turn, he could always just let them go out of play. So he's not like forced to do something terrible with them. That's the benefit of having at least maintenance characters being your only character stuck at a site. Is you can just have them kill themselves. Yeah, no. Still a good move. Still in a good spot. You're not really doing any damage yet, but that potential can certainly start to open up. We've got Rex, who adds a destiny. Cody, who cancels a destiny. That's a pretty good spot. And Obi can add one, I believe. This is a pretty strong force. These three guys together, this is pretty solid. It's almost a shame you don't have this guy here, because he shoots vehicles at +2, and this site actually makes your weapon destiny draws +1. So bam, +3. That 6 you drew, you could have shot Blizzard 2. Wouldn't have made it forfeit 0, but just a cool thing to do. So he's going to use Obi to add 1 to the draw, which gives him a total of 11. And I believe these guys forfeit for 5 and 5, right? Yes, look at that. Well done. That's going to clear the whole thing. And in the meantime, he draws Pole Treatum. Don't really care about that. And he draws a Callus, which you'll just cancel because you can. Cody has served his purpose and served it well. And now we're going to see that whole thing go away. he dug out an Ozzel. So he's got another leader. And he's going to put Walkling out of play to retrieve Cody and get hit with an imbalance combo. That's fine. You can throw away like the disarmed or something like that. We haven't seen anybody with the weapon yet, right? I get why he's saving it just in case. You can throw away the landing claw too. I mean, there's cards in hand that there's a number of cards in hand that really aren't all that useful anymore. All right, here comes a new wave of guys. Callus, Gideon, Ozzel. He'll retrieve an agent and pass. Yeah. Adams played an exceptional game so far. The simple trick shield is my only criticism of how this has happened. Maybe using their tracking us a little earlier, but you put it to good use. So we get a drain of 1, a drain, and this is going to be a drain of 0 because of the objective. It's a 4. These guys are all leaders. Nothing much you can do about that. He did track him around and use Kit Fisto to get Cody back into hand. Dorme's a spy. Look at her go. Going over here to take over the 2-0. Bringing Qui-Gon with her. Mace is transferring the lightsaber. And Kit's going to move away. He's got land speed 2, so he can make it all the way to the exterior site. Alright, so quasi conceding the throne room, realizing at this point not going to flip, and even if you did, you don't really get any benefit, damage benefit from it, so might as well look into alternate plans. Smart holding the system, tempting as it is to put that out. You don't need to put it out just yet. There's the Vader's tie. Obviously the barrier's solid for that. Now you can put it out and move away if you need to. Core lag to Camino that's 7. Alright, so Vader's tie can still make it, but maybe you don't need to. Ascension guns to peak. Ooh, those are 2 rough destiny. And then you take Chewie out and find a way to shuffle. Oh, you can use Kit and then draw OB as well. Okay, that works. He's getting 3 destiny there. Callus adding 1 with other guys. The Garrison adding. And there's some solid destinies that Bastion set up. He's got a total of 10. Puts him to 29. One of these guys will live. Just a matter of who you want to get rid of, whether it's Mace Yoda, keep Anakin, or Anakin Yoda, keep Mace. Well, he's going to keep them both and just lose a couple cards from hand. Okay, to cover the battle damage. Oh, no, he had extra attrition. He had 10 attrition. He didn't cover it, so he lost 2 cards he didn't need to. Alright, now I've got a criticism. Yeah, you lost 2 cards you didn't need to there. That could end up making a difference. And pull the damn shield. Although it doesn't matter now, because now he's got 2 battlegrounds satisfied here. Alright, so now I gotta read Vader's tie, which has also been changed, so hopefully this is the right updated text. While Vader piloting, it is immune to attrition less than 5. During battle, cancel game text of a passenger or pilot of ability less than 4. Well, there's no passengers, and we have no pilots of ability less than 4. So we just have immune to less than 5, with Vader aboard who subtracts 2 from a draw, versus power 8 and immune to less than 5. Could also add 3 more power. And this does have room to put passengers on it, which Vader could then cancel their game texts, but at least it would give you forfeit fodder in case he does happen to get lucky. Although we do know from looking at the way he drew, Callus is on top, followed by the 5. So as long as he doesn't lose anything off the top, which I'm sure he will, then you know he's going to draw the 5 and just throw down Chewie or something like that for forfeit. Ah, gotcha, Adam. Yeah, that is, as Adam points out in the chat, for those of you watching at home later on YouTube, uh, unless with Anakin or Vader, Mace is immune to attrition. So he was expecting that Mace would be completely immune to attrition, as is Yoda, um, and he wouldn't have to lose anybody else. But Anakin was there, so Mace didn't have immunity, and losing Anakin doesn't restore it immediately like that. At the time, destinies and power totals were calculated. Mace was not immune to attrition, and he has 10 to satisfy. So he will get some force drains in at least. This is a solid drain. This is drain plus 1 on the site, so there go 3 cards. There's the Pole Treatum off the top. There's a Cold Feet off the top. And then there's the Callus. So he's down to the 5. And there's a card from hand. You got a 4 and a 5, so you got a 50-50 shot. If nothing else, though, you could, well, neither one's going to do because Vader's going to subtract 2 from it, but you could outpower it. Oh, he's going to put Chewie over there. Okay. And then run Kit back. So he loses a card from Force Pile to add 2 to Bravo's forfeit and make it immune to attrition. So now the ship is completely immune to attrition. It was immune to less than 3. We know he's going to draw a 5, though. Which is fine because now that it's forfeit 6, Bravo Fighter will cover. He'll draw a 5 and get the 10. He'll draw a 4, subtracted 2. He'll be at 13, and Bastion will have to peel 3 cards. No, he draws the 5. Alright, so he's going to have to peel 4 cards. Yep. Lose the Bravo Fighter to cover 6. Thank you, Plo Koon. And he does have to lose Vader. And then I guess Kit Fisto's going to run back to the throne room. He ran out, gave Obi a lightsaber, now he's running back inside. It's kind of like the movie, right? Isn't that episode 2? Kit shows up and gives them all lightsabers. There's Tarkin. No need to barrier because he's not battling because he's got no destiny. Hey, there we go. Yay! He retrieved 2 extra cards that he shouldn't have. And Bastion's going to scoop it. And Echo Base Trooper is our winner. Congrats, Adam, on the win. Thank you for sharing the deck and the matchup. Interesting to see a few the new set cards, set 12 cards, and errata cards being played. I'm just wondering, is there a way to pull this site? Like, why pick? It's just, I guess, 4 strain -1 with the scomp link. But I guess I was just curious to know if there's not any other better locations that are like pullable. But I guess not. Um, but wow, all right, congratulations on the win, and again, thanks for sharing the deck and sending it on over. And you've now been immortalized in YouTube and Twitch streaming history for your win over Zlorfic, which I'm sure he will not take lightly. We'll take a quick refresh, see if there's anything else going on here. Doesn't look like it. There's a bunch of games going on. But we've been going pretty long, so we're going to wrap up the show here. And for those of you who missed it earlier, we'll bring it back up. Give me 1 second here. The 2020 Match Play Championship will be played online. We'll be posting the details shortly. It'll be broken up day 1 and day 2 because we believe 16 is about the limit of game space that we can take up on GEMP. We did get the 20 the other day, but we do have to leave a couple slots open for the casual players who will not be involved or have no interest in playing in the tournament. This is where it's going to get more challenging. Early in the morning in the day, most people who normally play on GEMP are probably going to be in the tournament. It's this part here that gives us a little pause for concern because we're still going to be occupying 16 tables, but now 32 players have been eliminated from the tournament, and we're hoping not all of them want to play games of their own. We may have to ask people to try and not play games that day, so we don't during this window here, because we're still going to have 16 games. We're going to have, like I said, 32 extra people. Might just ask them if they wouldn't mind taking a few hours off from playing and just spectate, join the Twitch live stream, do some commentary, watch some games live on your computer yourself, go to a movie, grab a snack, take a nap, do something other than play a game of your own, so we don't completely overwhelm the server here and have a bunch of games crash that then have to get restarted, and that just creates a whole big kerfuffle that we'd rather not have to deal with. And then we'll move on to Sunday. So I'm going to post this over on the PC forum shortly, so we can get everybody signed up. If you've already signed up, you don't need to sign up again. But if you are signed up and you are not interested in playing, you have to let me know so I take you off the registration list. So that's going to do it for the show. I'm going to get on that. Thank you guys very much for tuning in this evening, and have a great night.